Let us do something together. Let us step back in time, not just to the time of the prophet, but to his final hours, the last moments of the man who changed the world, the man who brought light where there was darkness, the man who taught us how to love, how to pray, how to be human. Close your eyes if you want, and let us walk together through the most sacred and heartbreaking day in Islamic history, the last 24 hours of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It begins in the house of his wife Aisha. The Prophet is sick. His body, which had carried the weight of revelation for 23 years, is now weak. The fever is strong. His blessed forehead is hot. But even in this state, he does not rest. He asks Aisha, "How are the people? How are the believers?" He worries about his community. He always worried about them. From the very first day when he stood on the mountain of Safa and called people to God, to this very moment, his concern was always for others, never for himself. Aisha later said that she had never seen anyone suffer from fever the way the Prophet suffered, but through the pain he never complained. He only prayed. He only remembered God. Now let us move to the mosque. The Prophet hears the call to prayer. Bilal, the man with the voice that once echoed over the hills of Mecca, stands and calls out, "Allahu Akbar, God is the greatest." The Prophet, despite his weakness, wants to be with his people. He has never missed leading the prayer when he was among them. He asks Aisha to help him stand. He takes a step, then another. But his body, the body that carried the heaviest words ever revealed to a human being, is now too weak. He stops. He looks toward the mosque. And then, with a heart that must have been breaking, he asks Abu Bakr, his closest friend, to lead the prayer instead. This is a heavy moment. The Prophet has always led the prayer. His voice has always been the one saying Allahu Akbar as the rows of believers lined up behind him. But now he steps back. He sits in the mosque beside Abu Bakr and listens. The companions raise their hands. They bow. They prostrate. But some of them cannot hold back their tears. They know, they feel it in their hearts. Something is ending. The man who taught them how to pray is now sitting while they pray. The hours pass. The Prophet calls for his daughter Fatima. She comes to him. She is the closest to him, the man he called the leader of the women of paradise. When she walked into a room, the Prophet would stand up to greet her. He would take her hand. He would kiss her forehead. He would sit her beside him. He loved her more than words can say. She was a piece of him. Now she comes to his bedside. She looks at her father, the man who raised her, the man who protected her, the man who never let a single harm touch her if he could prevent it. He whispers something in her ear. Her face changes. She weeps. Then he whispers something else. Her tears stop. A light comes to her face. She smiles. The companions who saw this later asked her what the Prophet said. She told them that he first told her, "I am going to die this year." That is why she wept. Then he told her, "You will be the first of my family to join me." That is why she smiled. Even in the face of death, she found peace, because she would not be apart from him for long. She would see him again. She would be with her father soon. Now let us go to the mosque one last time. The Prophet asks for water. He performs ablution. He wants to address his people one final time. He walks to the mosque, leaning on Ali and another companion. His feet are dragging. His body is weak, but his spirit is stronger than it has ever been. He climbs the pulpit, the minbar. He looks at the faces of the men and women who had followed him from Mecca to Medina, the ones who stood with him when the mountains of Mecca were against him, the ones who fought beside him in Badr, in Uhud, in the trenches, the ones who believed in him when the whole world called him a liar. He begins to speak. His voice is soft but clear, and what he says next shakes them to their core. He says, "If I have wronged anyone, here is my back. Let him take revenge. If I owe anyone anything, let him come forward and claim it." The companions are silent. Some look at the ground. Some look at each other. They cannot believe what they are hearing. The Prophet, the messenger of God, the man for whom God and the angels send blessings, is standing before them offering himself to them. No one speaks, but one man stands up. His name is Abu Bakr. His eyes are red. His voice is trembling. He says, "O messenger of God, I have not forgotten the day you helped me when I had nothing. I have not forgotten the kindness you showed me when the world turned away from me." And then the prophet looks at the people and says words that would echo through every generation. "Let no one say that Muhammad is great. Only God is great. The prophets before me died, and I will die. Do not worship me. Worship God alone." He then gives them a command that echoes through history. He says, "I leave behind me two things, the Book of God, the Quran, and my Sunnah, my way. If you hold on to them, you will never go astray." These are his final words to the community, not about wealth, not about power, not about who will rule, but about guidance, about the words of God and the way of the prophet. He wants them to remember. He wants them to stay on the path. He comes down from the pulpit. He returns to the room of Aisha, and the sun sets on the last full day of his life. Now night falls. The companions go to their homes, but in that small room the prophet is with his family. He is with Ali, he is with Fatima, he is with his grandsons Hassan and Hussein. He prays. He raises his hands to God. He asks for forgiveness for his community. He asks for mercy for those who believed in him. Aisha later said that she heard him praying over and over, "With the highest companion, with the highest companion." She did not understand at first, but later she realized he was choosing between staying in this world or joining the highest companion in paradise, and he chose paradise. He chose to be with God. The night passes, the morning comes, it is the day of his death. The prophet is lying on a bed made of leather, stuffed with palm fibers. It is a simple bed, a bed fit for a man who owned nothing and gave everything. Aisha holds his head in her lap. She watches him. She sees him dip his hand into water and wipe his face. She hears him say, "La ilaha illallah, there is no God but God. Indeed, death has its agonies." His hand goes limp, his breathing slows, his eyes look upward, and then peace. The greatest man to ever walk the earth returns to his Lord. The room fills with silence. Aisha later said that she did not know what to do. She placed her hand on his face. She felt the coolness of his skin. She knew. She opened the door, she called out to the companions, and the news spread through Medina like a wave. When Omar heard the news, he could not accept it. His heart would not let him. He stood in the mosque and shouted, his voice cracking with a grief that could not be contained. "The prophet is not dead. He is gone to his Lord like Moses went. He will return. By God, he will return." Some of the companions stood with him. They wanted to believe. They needed to believe. But then Abu Bakr came. Abu Bakr, the calm one. Abu Bakr, the friend who knew the prophet better than anyone. He did not shout. He did not argue. He walked past the crowd. He went to the door of the prophet's room. He stood there. He looked at the face of the man he had loved for so many years, the man who had walked with him through every hardship, every victory, every moment of this long and sacred journey. He kissed his forehead, and then he walked to the mosque. He stood before the people. His voice was steady, even as his heart was shattered. He said the words that would echo through time, words that every Muslim has carried in their hearts since that day. "O people, if anyone worships Muhammad, know that Muhammad is dead. But if anyone worships God, know that God is living and never dies." Then he recited the verse from the Quran. "Muhammad is no more than a messenger. Many messengers passed away before him. If he dies or is killed, will you turn back on your heels?" That day, the companions understood. The prophet was gone, but the message remained. The Quran remained, the path remained, and the responsibility now fell on their shoulders. The responsibility to carry what he taught them, the responsibility to live as he lived, the responsibility to love as he loved. Now let us stop for a moment. Let us think about those last 24 hours. What do they teach us? They teach us that the prophet, even at the end, was thinking of us. He was thinking of his community. He was worried about us. He was praying for us. He said in those final days, "O God, my community, my community." He wept for us. He asked God to forgive us. He loved us. And he never even met us. That is the kind of man he was, a mercy to all the worlds, not just to the people of his time, but to us, to you, to me. The last 24 hours also teach us about simplicity. The prophet died on a simple bed. He did not have gold. He did not have palaces. He had nothing. But he gave everything. He gave us the Quran. He gave us the example of how to live. He gave us a path to God. And he asked for nothing in return. He did not want our money. He did not want our praise. He wanted our hearts. He wanted us to be good to each other. He wanted us to be just. He wanted us to be merciful. That is his legacy. And finally, the last 24 hours teach us about grief. The companions lost the most precious person in their lives. They wept, they mourned, but they did not lose hope, because they knew that the prophet was not truly gone. He was with God, and he would be waiting for them. One day they would see him again. One day we will see him again. On that day when we enter paradise, we will stand before him, and he will look at us and say, "You followed my path. You held on to my message. You are my community." And that moment will make every tear we ever shed worth it. If you are watching this and your heart feels heavy, remember that the prophet knows your pain. He knows your struggles. He is praying for you even now, because he never stopped praying for his community. He never stopped loving us. And that is why we love him. That is why we follow him. That is why we hold on to his message with everything we have. If you have made it this far, you are someone who feels this love. You are someone who wants to walk this path. And that is exactly what the Prophet Path is about. This channel is for people like you, people who want to connect with the Prophet, people who want to understand his life, his teachings, his love. We make these videos so that his story stays alive, so that his message reaches every corner of the world. So please, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button. Join this path. Be part of this community. Share these videos with your family, with your friends, with anyone who needs to hear the story of the most merciful man who ever lived. Thank you for walking with me through these last 24 hours. May God bless you. May God unite us with the Prophet in paradise. And until the next video, remember that his light never went out. It lives in every heart that loves him, and it will shine until the end of time.